Hi, my name is Julie Bond. I'm the president of Bond Consulting Group, and I'm here to talk to you about SR&ED in the manufacturing and industrial sector today. SR&ED stands for Scientific Research and Experimental Development. Our firm has prepared well over thousands of these SR&ED applications for the course of almost 20 years. It's our area of specialty. It's all we do. And our clients have benefited to the tune of at least $100 million in refunds under the SR&ED program as a result of using our services. So today's agenda, we're going to be talking about SR&ED in the manufacturing and industrial sector, a little bit about SR&ED, some statistics, some misconceptions in this particular sector, the criteria, some examples, and then some tactical and technicalities about using the SR&ED program. So what is SR&ED? Scientific Research and Experimental Development is the largest and most important and most generous corporate tax incentive program in Canada. This is a program that will reward incorporated businesses that achieve an advancement of knowledge in the field of science, technology, or medicine. By positioning your work as an advancement of knowledge, you may qualify for a very significant government refund under this program. And many manufacturers qualify for the SR&ED program, but fail to claim their benefits. At least 50% of the eligible businesses in the technology and industrial and manufacturing sector fail to claim their benefits. Typical claims in the industrial sector can range from $50,000 to $500,000 a year. They could be a bit smaller, it could also be larger. And these are real cash refunds that are payable to an incorporation that qualifies under this program. So what are the misconceptions in the manufacturing sector? Well, there's a misunderstanding about the difference between technical work and technological work. And this is kind of a philosophical concept. So you need to speak to a specialist if you're in the manufacturing or industrial sector, because understanding the difference is crucial to understanding whether your work is eligible under this program. So the SR&ED program is not a grant. It behaves a little bit like a grant. We'll be talking about the difference between tax credits and grants in a moment. Another common misconception is that you need to be profitable because the name of the program is tax credit. Well, it's a refundable tax credit. So even if you're not profitable and your business is not profitable, you may qualify for a significant refund under the SR&ED program. Your accountant maybe never told you, or other advisors maybe have never told you. Foreign subcontractors, or if you've outsourced any work internationally outside of Canada, that work is not eligible. And there's a high level of denials in the manufacturing sector. Every year stands on its own. You may have been denied in the past, or know someone who's been denied in this sector in the past. Maybe you didn't have the right records, or maybe you were not able to differentiate between technical work or technological work, or really understand what is a technological obstacle and make your arguments. Maybe you need to use the assistance of a professional in the manufacturing sector in order to claim your benefits. One of the common misconceptions is that an SR&ED application will lead to a general audit of your entire corporate tax return. That's simply not true. SR&ED program is an incentive division, and it's separated from CRA audit. So there's no reason to worry about your case being audited, your corporation being audited, if you submit an SR&ED claim. So what's the difference between a tax credit and a grant? Well, grants are entirely discretionary. These programs come and go. The criteria change all the time. The limits on the budget, sometimes they run out of money, and there's no appeals process. If you get denied, that's the end of the road. But a tax credit is entirely different. This is an entitlement program. This program has been around since the 80s. The program has been largely unchanged since the 80s. It's a stable program with fixed criteria. There's really no budget limit. If you qualify under the program, the government has to issue you a refund. And if you disagree with CRA's decision on eligibility for any reason, you have an appeals process, and you could also file with the Tax Court of Canada if you so choose. So what are the criteria of the program in the manufacturing sector? Well, you need to prove that you had a scientific uncertainty or more likely a technological obstacle. And we're going to talk about what that obstacle is. Scientific or technological advancement, that's new knowledge that's gained as a result of studying that obstacle. And systematic investigation means that you've done work and you have some records, some technical content to show that work was done. So a technological obstacle is the type of obstacle, it's a type of problem that cannot be solved with routine engineering or readily available information that's in the public domain. So the best ways to consider eligibility is through what's available in the public domain at the time. So is there a risk of failure? Do the methods that are available to you lead to highly predictable results or not? And when we compare the methods that are available and the technology that's available at the time of the project to what is also known in the public domain at that time, is there a gap in knowledge? These are some of the questions that we may ask during an SR&ED assessment, and if you're working with an SR&ED analyst, to determine whether you have a case under the SR&ED program. So here are some eligible categories. So many. Engineering, electrical engineering, electronic engineering, robotics, microelectronics, mechanics, thermodynamics, aerospace, heating, ventilation, automation, transportation, tool and die, many more, computer hardware, paper and wood, textiles, remote sensing, coating and films, environmental engineering, chemical processes, everything that you would consider to be in manufacturing or industrial, mechanical engineering and marine engineering and so forth. So here's some real examples that we have of eligible clients with eligible projects: chemical engineering, electronic engineering, stone and tile manufacturing, tool and die, of course, millwork and cabinetry, of course, solid surface manufacturers. These are all examples of SR&ED projects and companies that have been approved under the program by working with Bond Consulting Group. So is it worth it? Well, a small claim could be worth $27,000 in Ontario with just a small percentage of a typical payroll. But with a larger percentage of work deemed eligible and a slightly larger payroll, you could be looking at an $85,000 refund. Here's another example with a large tool and die company, 25% of the work being deemed eligible, and we're looking at a refund that's approaching $250,000. So what are the eligible criteria for one of the expenditures? So we're looking for wages, right? Wages are T4 wages in Canada. Subcontractors, so Canadian contractors that have done work on behalf of the claiming corporation. Materials that are rendered valueless, or any prototypes that may have been pursued as a result of an SR&ED project in the industrial sector and the manufacturing sector. And the overhead. The overhead of the business comes into the calculations as well. So in Ontario, this is what the claim looks like. There's an investment tax credit, there's an Ontario Innovation Tax Credit, and an Ontario Research and Development Tax Credit. That's what the program looks like in Ontario. But there's a counterpart in every other province except for the PEI. So if you're in one of the other provinces, your claim might be certainly eligible, but calculated a little bit differently. So what do these forms look like? Well, you got your T661, you got your project descriptions, which must be written up. Your Schedule 31. If you're Ontario, you're going to be filling out the Form 566, 508. If you're outside of Ontario, there's other provincial forms that you have to fill out. There's a Schedule 1 and adjustments, tax return and adjustments, and financial statement and adjustments. But if you're working with a firm like Bond Consulting Group, we take care of all of this for you. So what are those submission rates? Well, if it's on the federal side, it's 35% of eligible expenditures may be refunded. Now, if it's labor, your expenditures can be marked up first by 55%, and subcontractors are going to be marked down by 20%. And all provincial tax programs are refundable in Canada. So if these are kind of the parameters, but again, if you're working with Bond Consulting Group, we take care of all of these numbers for you. So here are some tactical considerations to think about with the SR&ED program. First of all, you have to be incorporated. This program is simply not designed for sole proprietors or different types of partnerships, trust programs, or individuals. The program is designed for incorporated businesses. Now, the most generous part of the program is the T4 income. Dividends are not eligible. So if you're working with us, we'll try to help you understand the difference between T4 income, wages, subcontractors, and dividends, and help you put in the most efficient claim under the SR&ED program. Now, the program is part of your corporate tax return. What that means is if you go back to your tax return any year that you didn't claim SR&ED, the forms are there. You just left them blank. So we can go back up to 2 years to fill in those forms. But after that, your claim may expire. So there's a so-called 18-month deadline, which is 18 months after your fiscal year end. So the first question when you're working with Bond Consulting Group, we're going to ask you, what's your fiscal year end month and day, so that we can identify your next filing deadline. So here's a little bit more about Bond Consulting Group. We've been in business for almost 20 years. We have an extremely high success rate. We have an evidence management system for our clients to use called SR&ED Proof. We've achieved well over $100 million in refunds for our clients over the years. We're an award-winning firm with an enormous amount of written testimonials and video testimonials that you can see at our YouTube channel and on our website. And we have a team of SR&ED experts, analysts, and partners, medical scientists, technologists, engineers on staff and in Canada, never outsourced, never freelanced, that are well-versed in SR&ED policy and working at our headquarters in Canada. We'd like you to stay in touch with us and learn more about SR&ED eligibility for your business. You can go to bondconsulting.ca or shredmanufacturing.ca in order to book a consultation, book some time with an SR&ED assessment specialist, and we can go through at no cost to determine whether you have a case under the SR&ED program. I'd like to thank you for watching our short presentation, and we look forward to working with you.